The relationship between Minnesota Fighting Vikings star quarterback Kirk JEROME Ezekiel Cousins, I think that's the first time I call him a star. And I ain't even being sarcastic, man. As well as first-year head coach Kevin O'Connell, that relationship has been like this, and it's been a big reason why the Vikings have had 13 wins. Kirk Cousins playing some of the most clutch football of his life, and the culture of the Vikings has greatly improved. And Kevin O'Connell has been a breath of fresh air, and he's done a phenomenal job in year one. And ESPN Kevin Seifert, who is not Carl Gerbschmidt, did an in-depth look at the relationship between Kevin O'Connell and Kirk Cousins over on ESPN. It's titled "How Vikings Coach Kevin O'Connell Has Empowered Kirk Cousins," and we want to go through some of the excerpts because it's really, really good. Go check out the full article. So Kevin O'Connell, first meeting, chose to play, blah, 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 blah. I remember him saying to everyone in that room that it takes a special ability to sit there, stare down the barrel, get hit in the face, and throw with accuracy, Cousins said. He was empowering me in front of the whole team. That was kind of a funny moment where I was sitting there like, wow, he's kind of just complimenting me and encouraging me. That was cool. He was doing it for other guys too. He didn't just single me out, but those kind of moments just empower you as a person and as a player. You feel like Kevin O'Connell, he's not just building a football team, he's building people. Now, the whole modern Ted Lasso, be curious, not judgmental, showing love approach, it's new, like as opposed to the old school, spittoon, throwing players under the bus, that whole thing. Where I think that some people call it soft. I don't really. Where it's like in any line of work where someone who's in power is empowering those under him, whether accurately complimenting them, pointing out where they can improve, but also accentuating what they're good at. I mean, that's good leadership. I think that's what Kevin O'Connell brings, as opposed to just tearing people down and hopefully that they bounce back and build themselves back up. I wanted Kirk, this is Kevin O'Connell, I want Kirk to understand that he was going, what he was going to mean to us, not only this year, but moving forward. O'Connell said, blah, 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 and what he had accomplished in this league that would allow me to make sure that our entire locker room and coaching staff understood what I thought of him at that point, and that was on day one. And each and every time I have an opportunity in team meetings after a game, a breakdown at the end of practice, I don't ever want to miss out on an opportunity to allow Kirk to know that he's got my trust, my faith in him as our leader and our quarterback. And you see it throughout the league where there's a disconnect between the quarterback and head coach. Things fall apart, whether in Arizona with Kyler and Kingsbury, whether in Denver with Hackett and Russell Wilson. You could say Aaron Rodgers and a 12-year-old boy. Sure. Wherever there's friction between, because those are the two most important people on the team, the quarterback and the head coach. It just is what it is. Kevin O'Connell worked with Kirk before in Washington, and also remember this offseason, the Vikings had every opportunity, with Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell, who, first time as a head coach and or GM and head coach respectively. I mean, they hitched their wagon to Kirk Cousins. And if things go foobarred here in Minnesota, there's no guarantee that they would have had another shot. So they staked their professional reputation on Kirk Cousins when they could have traded Kirk. There would have been a market. Sure, they could have drafted their own guy. They could have brought in someone else. But no, they rolled with Kirk. They even extended him, and that's the faith that they showed. And Kevin O'Connell is backing it up. So talking about Zimmer, the easy story would go something like this. Cousins and the Vikings offense have flourished under the coach with the friendly, optimistic demeanor and the offensive background after years of grinding under the grumpy defense-first authoritarian. Cousins, for one, doesn't think this fits. It's just a lazy narrative, he said. I'll tell you this. I got better every year as a player under Coach Zim. I got to go to 2 Pro Bowls under Coach Zim. I won my only playoff game under Coach Zim, and every year I played, I got better. I feel like Coach Zimmer gave me everything I needed to be successful, and his style really meshed well with what I was used to when I played at Michigan State. I had a ton of success with Mark D'Antonio. A defensive-minded head coach, very much about discipline, and was going to see it through the defensive coach's eyes. I see how well that worked. I saw how much we won and really how successful I was able to be a quarterback in that mindset. There are a lot of ways where I think it really helped me. And yeah, the easy way would have been to points like, well, Kirk and Zimmer never really were on the same page. Oh, they're watching film now. It only took 4 years. And I think it was a little bit of an oil and water situation, but Kirk is right. I mean, Kirk went to 2 Pro Bowls under Zim. Kirk won his only playoff game under Zim. So they did have success. And yeah, you could say from 2018 to 2021, Kirk improved every single year. And I do like that, Kirk is showing some love to Zim. Like, it isn't sour grapes in this situation. But I do think that Kevin O'Connell has a chance to take a Kirk to the next level, and he's certainly doing that this year. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, so relationships. So basically, when Christian Darrisaw CD initials, and Kirk Cousins was talking about, the crime dog, Fred McGriff from back in the day, Tommy Mansky's Super Baseball, whatever. And of course, Darrisaw didn't understand the reference because Darrisaw's 23. But Darrisaw was the first Vikings player to put a chain around Cousins' neck, a turning point in that development of a fierce line of defense and admiration. Cousins has experience from younger players on the rooster. More importantly, Justin Jefferson defended Cousins from social media criticism and was still on edge when asked about it later. It's just about the fact that people don't show the amount of work that he's putting in. Everybody wants to make jokes about him and stuff like that. Always want to talk about him, but his numbers are showing differently. And I think this is the first year that this team is Kirk Cousins, where 2018 he came into a veteran-laden team, bit of an interloper, bit of a mercenary. Sure, 2020, 2019, 2020, yes, 2021 sort of became the tipping point as the Vikings were getting rid of some of those veterans. But now this is his team. And you see how he interacts with the younger players. You see how they after those big road wins when they put the ice on Kirk Cousins, victory ice, that whole thing. They love Kirk Cousins. Like they fully bought in, and I think that's something that he hasn't really experienced throughout his NFL career. Like, no one was fully all in on Kirk Cousins in Washington, and for his first 4 years here with the Vikings, they're just sort of okay. But now this is Kirk Cousins' team, and you're seeing him respond by playing the best ball of his career. He's playing with more confidence. He's willing to stand in the pocket, take a hit. He's willing to do everything to help this team. And I love that, Darrisaw put the chain on him. I love that Za'Darius, put the chain on Kirk Cousins. I love that Jefferson is standing up for Kirk in the media. It's just beautiful, man. It's fantastic. And lastly, in several of those speeches, O'Connell has told players he loves them. Asked if O'Connell ever speaks negatively about them in front of the team, Cousins said he does try not to throw people under the bus, I'll put it that way, but this league will always let you know when you're not meeting the standard. In training camp, Thielen said that O'Connell's reticence to criticize players almost feels awkward. And the whole maxim of you praise in public, you criticize in private, I think O'Connell certainly takes that and runs with it. Where, you can't just be all sunshine and rainbow. Sometimes, someone's football just sucks, and you have to get them up to the standard of what this team expects. But you don't lambaste them in front of their peers. Like, you don't embarrass them. That's not how you motivate people. But you know how you get the best out of people? Where, hey, when you do something good, you get praise in public in front of your friends, in front of your peers, in front of your teammates and coworkers, and then all of a sudden you want to chase that feeling. You want to do more for the team. You want more of that. And when you need tuning up, do it in private. The message gets through the same without the public embarrassment and shaming, right? So I absolutely love what Kevin O'Connell has done with this team. I think that this team is playing fun, fast, loose football, and I think that him and Kwesi are just going to be dynamite building this team. I think Kirk Cousins has a couple of good years left. I think that they will be the best seasons of his career. I think that he could have a Rich Gannon-type end of career. Rich Gannon was in Oakland. He won league MVP. We don't talk about the Super Bowl, but it's just freaking awesome. It's just freaking awesome. This season has been a ton of fun, of course, with the single-score games, but it's just great seeing how some of these players have grown, how Kevin O'Connell empowers them, as well as just the way that Kirk Cousins just he's saying "frick you" to the entire National Football League, succeeding in spite of all their jokes. It's funny, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. Take a look at ESPN's awesome article about Kevin O'Connell and Kirk Cousins. Go check it out. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts and their thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.